What's up, Juventini? Welcome back to the channel dedicated to La Vecchia Signora, the AJC. All right, it is match day. It is Juve and City, one we've anticipated for quite some time, but I don't think anybody was anticipating how both clubs would end up coming into this match come December 11th when we saw it on the schedule early on. Yet, here we are, a lot of questions around the team, squad list, the lineup, what Motta's going to do. We're ready to tackle it all together. I got Luca, I got Paolo. Gentlemen, how are you doing today? Ready to rock or what?
Paolo?
Hey, not everybody at the same time,
let's
okay?
go.
Not
Come on,
everybody
man.
at the same time.
Let's go. Let's go.
There we go.
Fuck City.
Let's go.
Come on, man.
Let's go. Let's go. We got Trim already setting the tone in the chat. We will win today. Easy Mark Messier, okay, with the promises here. But,
Jeez.
let's see what's going on. Motta is going legend mode today to outclass Pep. Well, Pep's been getting worked over the coals here by a bit. He's getting outclassed on the streets, not able to take a little banter. So let's see what happens. Skippy! Morning, Skippy! Buongiorno, ragazzi. Let's go, everybody. Come on. Forza Juve, fino alla fine. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, I'm not. We're right on time. We're right on time, ready to rock, okay? We're going to kick things off with, guys, the Chihuahua check-in. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. And yes, you saw the FC25 simulation giving Juve the 2-0 victory. I did say I would give my left nut for that result today, okay? But, it is what it is. It is what it is. Chihuahua check-in. Guys, who wants to kick us off on Chihuahua check-in? I don't mind. It is going a certain direction. To some of our favorite Chihuahuas out there, Napoli. I'll fire away. You go down twice to Lazio in 1 week after your coach is so terrified about multiple competitions that he sends out a weak lineup in Coppa Italia to ensure they get the job done in Serie A. Congratulations, you did not. All right, so Chihuahua, check-in Conte and that fear of multiple competitions. You will find that out probably even next season, okay, even more so than this year. Gotta have a laugh at that, and Lazio taking them down twice in 1 week. Bravo. I think it's absolutely hilarious, okay? Now, Luca, you got a Chihuahua check-in.
I've always got a few lined up. This one really, really got to me. I mean, I think I brought it up in our chat too. The absolute boob of a journalist that decided to ask Yuli's a question and say, let's act as if your coach is not here for a moment.
Oh, my goodness.
I have so many angles I want to take on this, but my first thing is just like, was he an English journalist or was it Italian? Like, I need to know where this guy comes from.
Oh, he's
Even if it's a
Italian.
girl. Oh, is he great? That's a great. The bar is so low. Yeah, no, I've got no words for this. I mean, forget the fact that this is like a genuinely young talent, and he's just coming up. You're not gonna ask that kind of question in front of the coach, like, ever. And then you even have the balls to try it, and then the coach is like, no, I'm right here. That's a very unfair question.
He said it 3 times, and this journalist persisted in getting the most robotic answer you possibly could, which is, I play where the coach tells me to. And bravo, Keenan, from Motta.
Yeah.
In typical this is just the journalist got to do better. There's ways to angle your questions to get some answers, but when they're putting crap out like that, it's such a waste of everybody's time, and you're not going to gain anything. In the end, what do you want Keenan to say? You think because you tell him, hey, just act like Motta's not sitting right next to you. Tell me you don't like where he's playing you. What? Stop fishing for trash like that. Yeah, that guy's a joke, okay? Gets an absolute one of those. Love the jersey. Hey, there can only be one when you're talking about Juve and City, okay? There can only be one. If you know, you know, but we will, of course, go over that, I'm sure. Paulo, you even have a Chihuahua check-in that is suited and fitting for today's session.
I do. So whenever I'm preparing for a show, whenever I'm looking at an opponent, I go to their YouTube fan channels. So doing my homework, I hit the top 10, apparently, Man City fan channels, and I painfully watched all 10. Their episodes previewing this match, of which some were pretty good and some were not. But really, it consisted of Man City fans crying about only winning 5 out of the last 6 titles, crying about their roster being old, crying
At
about
1.26 billion, might I add?
Crying about injuries, crying about only winning 1 out of the last 10, crying about having to play 3 games this week, and then they're mispronouncing all the Juventini's players' names, and they're saying at the end of it all, "Well, I think we're going to win 4-1." So that's my bow wow. I cannot believe it. Come on.
Yeah. Let's
at least get the names right.
Let's hope the club can be fired up today and really have a go at them and everything. We're going to get into that and everything. But there's your little Chihuahua check-in right now, everybody, okay? And hopefully City have a bad game. They've been suspect, to say the least, in the current form they're in. And you know what? We're just looking for this confidence boost. We're looking to kind of turn the tide, too. This game could either be one of the most boring or one of the most entertaining, because both teams kind of need the points, got to get after it, but both teams are struggling. Let's see what happens. The lineups, hey, I said it. They are bruised and battered. They still have a good lineup, like their expected lineup, which we will get into, okay? We got to get into some of the news and everything. Really, there is news around the game, the injuries and everything, but Mbangula Hanko swap was a talk of the day yesterday as it was being rumored. We know that Mbangula's agent is furious with all these rumors of the exit, but guess what, buddy? Welcome to Italy. Welcome to Serie A. I don't know if he's the first player you're repping. That's the way it works, man. It just, shit like that happens. It ain't going away. But Mirko Di Natale says Hanko is off the table. Feyenoord does not want to say goodbye, definitely not in January. They value him at 35 million euros. What was interesting is the discussion around Mbangula, more so than, the hypothetical of what could go on. Because if you look at this move, there was 2 things that kept coming up. Number one, how strongly everybody felt about not saying goodbye to Mbangula. There was multiple reasons for that one. We'll get into our thoughts, our feelings. The second was quite a few broke back, like they went backwards to sending Fagioli instead to get this move done for a defender that is almost like 2 birds with 1 stone, because he could play left back as well as either of your center back slots. Let's talk about it real quick. Mbangula for Hanko. If you could maneuver that swap, maybe you have to come out of pocket a little bit more on top. Were you a yes or a no for it? Let's start with Luca.
I mean, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I have no idea who the hell this Hanko guy was, so I can't give a good response here. But I kind of like Mbangula right now. And I mean, I liked him since he started the season well. I didn't necessarily want him to leave. I actually was hoping he'd get more playtime. So, with that said, I'm going to say no. But, I mean, my insight here, like I said, is not great. So maybe Paulo has better insight on this one than I do.
Okay, Paulo.
I don't know the guy. I did some homework on him. He's got good size. He's 27. It's going to be 28, I think, in December, later this month. Actually, his birthday is going to be in 2 days, I think. He's tall. He's left-footed. Can play center back. He can play left fullback. He has like 3 or 4 years left in his contract, so I don't know how they'd be interested in moving him at this point after he just signed a new contract like a year and a half ago. And I think when I'm thinking about these kind of proposals, I'm trying to imagine next year. And if we were to have Bremer and Cabal in good shape, would we be thinking about him? Would we be thinking about someone else or someone younger? Or someone do we need to do the move at this time? Like Luca, I like Mangala, and I want to see him play more. So I would say no.
If I'm looking at, and like we see comments, Matt, I liked Henko in the Euros. No, because if Yildiz is going to play the 10, we would be too skinny at left wing. That's a big if that we would like to see. Also, we'll talk about that today going into this game. If we sell someone, then at least a midfielder. We have a lot of midfielders. You guys know where I stand. I'm not liking taking away from this team, a team that needs depth, obviously, just to add, especially to add in January. I'm not really sure. I still am baffled that we are so adamant about saying no to free agent. All that blows my mind. You're trying to spend money on guys. Are you going to go after these guys, like Paulo's point, if it wasn't this injury crisis? Like, are you just now, oh, we need somebody now, and you're looking to spend rather than just, get the job done, bring in bodies. You've got guys now that could be your kind of 1A options anyways, but maybe that's the fear. With two guys that are season-ending injuries, if you get another one of your 1A options you settled in free agency, for somebody that could come in, offer coverage, if one of those guys goes down after the winter window closes, maybe they're thinking, let's get the best quality type guy you could bring in. I'm just spitballing rationale here that could be going on around the table there at Continasa, but if I'm looking at this, you don't have the depth up front. You just don't have it. So Mbangula should not be even considered simply for that. The depth isn't there. Nico still isn't even back, everybody. And that date keeps getting pushed further and further back. If one of Weah, Chico, knock on wood, if somebody goes down, Mbangula is out in January, who are you moving up? Who are you moving up? One of the midfielders to play as a wing, And maybe, a lot of shouts were about McKennie playing on the outside, and, it's not the same, though. It's nowhere near the same. So, for me, it's a no. And the biggest point, we have no idea what we have in Mbangula. It's too early. That's my main thing, is you don't know what you have there.
Yep.
Even trying to say 20 is a lot of capital, that's a big deal. Easily brings in that target, but we have no idea who Mbangula really is as of yet. He needs to get some more minutes. Yep. Pushing Yildiz into the 10, I'm down with it, but we'll talk about that a little bit later, okay? Artur, can we not get something out of this guy? Maybe he can provide a little assistance in picking. I mean, the guy's got the most teams ever that have been interested in this guy. Como, Bologna, Marseille, Benfica, Betis, Girona, Olympiacos. If you can't sell him now, you know what? That's it. Give him a job at J Hotel, because he ain't going anywhere. If you got this many freaking teams interested in this guy and now we can't move him, yeah. We got to figure that one out. But Artur, there's good news there. The injury boost, Cambiaso, McKennie, Louise, all ended up back at group training yesterday. We do have the squad list today, but we know that Cambiaso is kept out. For Nico Gonzalez, it's been pushed back to Venezia. It could be even pushed back to the Copa match against Cagliari. Don't be surprised if it's 2025, everybody. Seriously. And I'm being serious. Now, there are a lot of questions coming out about, is there maybe something at play behind the scenes in terms of the obligation to purchase Nico, and maybe Juve's looking for an out? Obviously, we can't speak to that. I've never seen the details on the obligation. So I couldn't tell you if it's an appearance thing, to be honest. So I really don't have anything to say on that. I know that there's a supporter, Mitch, who supports the AJC, a member of the AJC Army, and he showed us and took us back a couple of years ago to a little instance with Arnautovic, where there was this, perception of a rift between Mota and him. He was listed as out for quite some time, and then all of a sudden he was making international appearances while being out for Bologna, and he was getting benched and everything. But Malta and Arnautovic steady throughout, even after Arnautovic's time, denied any rifts. I personally would like to think we wouldn't put our team in such a situation with bodies over a personal thing, or like, how are you going to have a problem with Nico so quickly? Guy barely played and then did suffer a knock in that game where he had to come off. So he did suffer from something. But being kept out because of something beyond, I'm not really going down into this well. That's just me. And I think we're all probably on the same page, Paolo.
Well, when he pulled up in that game, something happened. Like, so I
Yeah.
clearly believe he pulled something. Those big muscles can sometimes hang around for a while, those injuries, depending on how bad the tear might have been, if that's what it was. But it's suspicious, right? It's suspicious. And did he come with some kind of injury? Was there some kind of issue when we got him?
Yeah.
He didn't
I think
last
that's
long.
the biggest thing. It's suspicious, like you said. There's just not a lot of info coming from Juve. That's the biggest thing. Transparency with the injuries is not there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's for all injuries, not just him.
So naturally, when that happens and everybody's wondering, you list it as a minor injury, we're at 2 months, or I think we're at 2 months. Naturally, media is going to get a hold of something. Things are going to start to swirl. And even out of Turin, there's been, like I said, I shared it with everybody. Like I said, just put it in your back pocket, whatever. But there was rumors about guys that were back being able to play sooner, and Mota not getting them back in for whatever reasons, and his call. Dusan was a part of that, stating that he could have been back before the Bologna game. Luiz was a part of that. Nico was never part of those rumors coming out of Turin. So, again, you take things with a grain of salt. I take this with even more so, okay? I'm not going to go down that well. But we're going to talk about the guys coming back. Cambiaso was a big one. I said, absolutely no way, no chance that I risk anything when it comes to Cambiaso. No chance I risk it. Champions League at the moment is not a higher priority than domestic. And I was combated on that. And people said, no, you're wrong because of the money. I'm going to break it all down. But first and foremost, guys, Paulo, do you agree there should be absolutely zero risks taken when it comes to Cambiaso?
Yeah, I do. I mean, Gentili left our bench really short, and that's frustrating. But that doesn't mean we're going to put probably our franchise player at risk for the rest of the season, for any other future Champions League games, which would be in, January and February? No way. I say let him rest.
Yeah. Luca, where are you at?
Oh, yeah. Same. No disagreements there.
Yeah. If you're talking about money, I just want to point this out too to everybody. This is the reason why I stand firm that I don't risk it. Number one, if you want to look at the standings in Champions League, it's a little nerve-wracking seeing yourself that low. 22nd on 8 points? I get it. But if you think about this with the other 2 games remaining, realistically, one win probably gets you in the playoffs, which is what we're realistically looking at. You know, a win today could actually have you in the discussion to maybe find a way into that top 8. But again, that's a big if. They still got a strong squad they're coming out with today. And form aside, Champions League is a different beast. I think we've seen that with a couple of the results yesterday as well. Mm-hmm. I said it all along. Banking on round of 16 financially from that standpoint for Juve was kind of playing with fire. You don't want to, it's one thing to have objectives and everything, but if you're banking on it, that's essentially gambling, okay, on that. That's a big risk, but we've already pulled almost 60 million euros from Champions League as it stands. From making it in, which is the bulk of your money, is competing in it, is getting in it. Then you get your winnings, you get your TV rights money, and there's one other facet that comes into play. The boost from getting from where we're at now minus more results money. A draw is like 700K, but winning a match is like, I think close to 2 mil that you get. Making it to round of 16 is an additional 11 million euros. Okay? Making it to that round of 16. Not qualifying and reaching top 4 domestically is worth more money in the grand scheme of things. And that is why the league right now, these constant draws, 6 and 9 in the league, that is your top priority. And you have 2 games remaining in Champions League. Like, there is no way I'm taking the argument that you risk Cambiaso whatsoever. Just for all those facts. Number one, one of the franchise guys, like you mentioned, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And we could still achieve where they ultimately want to be with a couple games remaining beyond this one. There's no need to risk it. Absolutely none. Financial, the schedule, everything, there is no reason. But I was combative with it. But for me, it's easy. It's easy. And Skanga actually said, oh, that's an interesting take or whatever. Like, I'm like, I don't think it's interesting at all. I think it's straightforward.
Fuck that guy.
Skanga's gold. But I think it's as straightforward as it gets. What are we talking about here? Now, if we want to get into this game, which we will, now we're going to talk about the lineup and that risk that you do take not having him in and how you're going to maneuver with it. But first, everybody, reminder, number 1, before we go back in time, and we know where we're going with the back in time, okay? But first up, reminder, you got to be subscribed. Triple kick giveaway, first ever for the HAC. Let's go. Giddy up. Giddy up. Good luck, everybody. Winner will be decided. Okay, December. I think we have a match on the 29th. Yeah, the Fiorentina match. Pre-game, that's where the winner gets chosen. All right, now we're going to go back in time. It's got to be 15-16. Okay, that matchup we all remember. Okay, the famous Man City slide. Oh my goodness. Great match there. Great match. Where does this Selly rank for you personally? How high up is this Man City slide? Some people are just...
Club-wise, this is like number 1 for me. I mean,
number 1?
I wasn't around for many years, right? Like, I only started to... I'm still rather young. So I wasn't there for the 80s and 90s, guys. I missed that shit. But, club-wise for me, this lives in my memory club-wise for sure.
Huh. Paulo, where does this rank for you, this Man City slide?
I love the uniforms. I love seeing those guys in the highlights looking so much younger than they do now. I think it was a great moment, great kit. We didn't get too far in that year's Champions League, so it doesn't rank high for me. Great moment though, but
man, RB Comps was there live. Wow, Jesus. What a moment to be at live! What a game to be at live. This Sally's up there for sure. If right off the top of my head, something recent around that decade of dominance, I'm probably going to say that Inter 3-2 late Higuain. Even though the Selly was mad and on the sidelines, whatever, that was probably crazy. I remember the smirk from Max too. It was just everything about that moment was amazing, even given the opponent. This was pretty damn sweet. I mean, Paulo, Pogba, Morata. And that goal Morata scored like out of nowhere. Yeah, it was and the kits take it. We got to talk about these kits. Where's this kit ranking for you all time? Where do you place this all time? Top 10, top 5?
I'm not gonna like my answer. It's for me. I mean, if are we including all kits like home too?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I can't put it number 1 because it's not a home kit.
RB's got it all-time top 3. Top 5 now. He's changed. Justin, easy top 5. Swarit, this kit is top 5.
For me, it's just simply because that season, the 3 we had were arguably the best three I've seen.
It was a
And
solid trio of kits. The
yeah,
home, and then you had the pink away, and then you had
yeah,
this.
yeah, no, top three for me. Because it's not a home, I can't give it number one. But it's definitely the number one in terms of third kits. 100%.
All right, Paulo, where do you rank it? Does it make your top 5, your top 3?
Top 5 for sure. I wouldn't say 3 right now, but it's beautiful. It is really nice.
Now, this just happened. This just happened to play out this way. But I'm curious. Does the stunning, and it's going to be an all-timer, third kit from this year that Paulo is wearing, is that one going to rank higher than this 15-16?
When I first saw it in presentation, like when they showed it to me last year, and like I freaked out. I remember I told you, Berto, like get ready, it's gonna be something. I still think it's arguably just because of the logos here. Like I mean, Adidas went for the trefoil, and then they even went for the old school Juve logo. Like everything about it is great, but I think it's gonna be very dependent on the season we have, because I mean, again, this black kit, like we're looking back at 2015, it was a decent year. It wasn't perfect. We didn't do that well, but all things considered, it was a pretty good year. So there's memories like this that we keep looking at, the celebrations that like stick in our minds, and this is like it's the first thing you think of. But like this year's third kid, I don't have many good memories with it so
Well,
far.
that's just it. So you got to take memory out of the equation because that's just not
Yeah.
fair at the
Oh,
moment. You got to see what develops for the rest of the season. But
it's got
as a
like quality.
standalone kit, does this
Mm.
new third kit take it over this one?
It
I
can't
think
without the badges. Sorry, Paulo. That's my
no,
answer.
you go. You said it
No,
can't.
because there's a lack of badges, right? We have nothing on it. Like the beauty of this one is that we have everything on it. It's just yeah, like kit to kit. If you're taking out all the details, it's a tough battle. But if you're looking again, I'm looking at like all of it. Like Berto has the patches on his. It makes such a difference. And
I'm going
yeah,
to tell you right now, and it might be a hot take, this new third kit takes it.
no, it's good. It's good. It's personal, I think.
It's just, as a standalone kit, no memories. The patches aside and everything, as that one will have the Golpa, of course, above the trefoil. As a
Yeah.
standalone kit for me, the new third kit, it edges. It's just class. It's just class. The subtle details. I love details in a kit. And whatever you think about the J having that like as the pattern and everything, and nobody really knowing until you're close up. The nice little Juventus around the button, something so simple. Everything about it. It's just class. The fact that it can look charcoal or dark and then a little bit navy at times, whatever, is just cool to
Yeah,
it
it's
as
nice.
well. For me, even no sponsor, it's just sick on a
Ooh,
kit. No
that's
sponsor on a kit. As a
that's
standalone kit,
ooh.
I give it to the new third. Paulo, you giving it to the new third?
When I first saw this previewed, the day it was released, I kept checking the Adidas online store every day. As soon as it showed, I ordered two, and I ordered the Pro and the Fan. And the Pro, they're both beautiful, but the Pro, the fabric is so subtle. There's such an elegance around the collar and the finish and the stitching.
Yeah.
No sponsor is a bit of a collector's thing for me. The beautiful zebra and the retro foil, and then of course you got the subtle three stripes. It's an elegant shirt. It's really gorgeous, and I think it's Italian is being Italian. It's synonymous with being fashionable and high fashion fabrics and finish. And this is a beautiful Italian jersey. It is just absolutely gorgeous. It's my top three easy.
Yeah,
And
there you
and
go.
wait,
Top
and wait.
three easy for the new third. And I've got a little fun little video coming out in a bit. It's set up by our friend Jeremy from Juventus Official Fan Club Vancouver. He gave me 14 kits to rank winner stays on, and I
Yeah.
randomized the order of these kits. There's a hot take coming in there. I might be taking some heat for, but I'm telling you, I still,
He put the
still.
green kits from like 5 years ago in number two, guys.
I'm telling you, the hot take in there. Just wait till you see it. Now we went back in time. It's time to get back with it. Okay, Juve City today. We talked about the form of both these teams. Man City, Rodri's out. Kovacic has a knock. Stones ankle injury. Ake recovering from a thigh injury. Foden recovering from illness. Akanji dealing with a knock. Oh my God. Well, I tell you what, that you know what you're going to get at the back line for them. But outside of that, and I mean, still, I mean, they're complaining on their side, but that's just because of how good they have it, which we'll talk about. Makes me appreciate Malta quite a bit, actually, through the circumstances. Despite my criticisms of what's been going on, I respect the hell out of him. And again, yesterday, cementing the fact he is not taking any alibis or any excuses with the injuries. And it makes you look at some of these other teams with what they got going on. And I mean, boo fucking who that you have all these injuries when you have a roster that makes up 2.6 billion in value or whatever the hell it is, 1.4, whatever the hell it is. Okay. Boo fucking who. Okay, but Mota has been dealing with a lot, and it makes you wonder, how other teams would fare. And I think now we're going to start seeing some teams deal with it. Kvaratskhelia is going to be out for a bit for Napoli. Pulisic is now going to be out for Milan until the new year. And those are just still overall for them, it's an injury. But again, for us, we've got quite a bit. I like that he's not making any excuses. For them, what you expect to see on the field, Ederson, Walker, Diaz, Vardiol, and Lewis, Gundogan, Savinho, De Bruyne, Silva, Doku, and Haaland.
That's a good lineup.
Yeah, like seriously here. What are we talking about? It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Walker is struggling, to say the least. Got to take advantage. He is really, really looked.
We have Danilo. Are we being serious? Like, we're looking at them and we're like, oh, Walker's finished. So is Danilo.
I know
on
both
the outside,
clubs are
he's been serviceable, but not on the left. And today, he's probably going to play the left. When we talk about our boost, again, nobody's really making it in. Mota made that clear. So when we got the lineup today, there was no surprises. There was two options. One with Cambiaso, one without. The rest is straightforward. It's Danilo going out to the left. You've got Savona on the right. It's Kalulu, it's Gatti, it's Locatelli, it's Thuram, it's Cope Miners in the 10. It's Chico, Yildiz, Vlahovic. It's as straightforward as it gets. The only question mark was Cambiaso. The other guys that make up the squad list will be on the bench. But this was met with some criticism from fans. I saw the comments. Obviously, we get everything when we're looking at our main and the news, and you post anything, and it can get, pretty aggressive in there. And some of it was coming out today saying the same old shit in terms of the lineup. Now, that's obviously directed at something that we got a hint of last game where we sacrificed a mid and got Yildiz central. We talk about it. This game could be up in the air. It's a big one. Both teams are going to want to play for it. We're at home. They're struggling. We're kind of unconvincing. I think that's safe to say, at the least. But is it the game you make the change and sacrifice that mid and get Yildiz in an advanced central role and maybe start in Bangula and reward him for the last game? Or you play Weah out on the left? How do you feel about the lineup? And I mean, Danilo's out on the left. I want to avoid Danilo on the left back at all costs. I was ready to play Weah there because he's done it before at Lille. And he's done it just on several occasions, played as right back and left back. I'm at the point where I want to avoid that at all costs. Savinho's going to be playing on that side. This is where you do this for Danilo today. Just hold your own. brother. Hold your own.
Oh God.
If Savona could play the left, I would have gladly put him over there and use McKennie as a right back, even if he's just back or something. But like, I want to avoid Danilo at left back at all costs. This guy actively has said for the past 2 years he does not like playing the left side. As a third center back, as a full back, whatever. Doesn't like it. But you can kind of sympathize with the back. We could sympathize with that. I think we could concede there that I think you're experimenting as opposed to just trusting a guy. It's a pick your poison moment. So let's leave that aside, I think. Unless you guys think you should be throwing a chance out there at left back. But I feel like if Savona could go to the left, Mota would do that and maybe utilize somebody else right, or keep Danilo on the side he's comfortable. Right? I'd like to think he would do that if Savona could. Savona's probably right back.
Yeah, no, I think Savona's locked in. We haven't seen him move from that position, which troubles me because I've always found that weird at that level, especially when you're at a certain caliber. You should be able to play either side. One with more comfort than the other, sure, fine. That's a preferential thing. But at that level, if you can't, just adapt to either side, especially if it's the same role, that's odd to me. But that said, it's a pick your poison moment, like you said. I don't have anything against Weah dropping back, but seeing how it's going to be like his third position in 3 different games. It wasn't that he was underwhelming last game. He wasn't, up to par, which was odd. But I think shuffling him around so much is not going to play us any advantage in keeping his form. I saw a bit of a decline when he went back to the wing after being a striker. So my initial thought is, yeah, pick your poison. Even Ruhi, between him and Danilo, it's really like, good Lord, can Pinzolio play left back too? We're really thin in that situation. So
it's a tough spot. I could sympathize at the back, but in the middle, that's where the heat's coming.
Yeah.
He's said on multiple occasions Yildiz can play centrally as a 10. But is this the game to try it? Is this the game to try it? Paulo?
I don't think so. When I look at Man City's lineup and I listen to the comments from the different fan channels, the fans on those channels for the City channels were making some valid points, and they were really concerned about the issues they have in the middle and the issues they have with age and the issues they have at the back. Now, at the back, they're so injury-riddled that they've got Walker, who's tired on the right side and making mistakes. They have Guardiola, who's gone into the middle, who's a natural center back, who's gone from the left to the middle. They're missing their core with Stones, Ake, and Akanji, so they're vulnerable at the back. They're trying to score 3 goals to stay in a game, which is something unusual for them. They're losing possession. They're shaky at the back. They're also complaining about the ages of Gundogan and Silva and how they can't last 90 minutes. And De Bruyne's a fantastic player, but he's just getting his legs back. So there's going to be they're concerned, and I can see why, that there's a lot of vulnerability in the middle, especially at the 60, 70, and 80th minute when you've got Gundogan, Silva, and De Bruyne altogether losing a lot of battles low. So if you get physical in the middle, if you got like a Locatelli and a Thuram and get those guys back together, you got Coop Miners, who's always very aggressive and very smart and very fast. You can really put pressure on that middle and expose that vulnerability. As far as our back line goes, you don't have a choice. You got to put Danilo in there. Danilo's actually not bad when he stays high. So maybe Mota's got a plan where he's going to try and keep the pressure high and on City's back line and dominate the middle and keep Danilo in a safer space because we have no choice. So I see some opportunities here. I think this isn't the time you try Yildiz in the middle. And the caution, of course, is Haaland. You have to figure out how Kalulu and Gatti can double mark or man mark Haaland. Because once they gather around your box, they start chipping in with Doku and Savinho. They start chipping in balls, and that's where the aerial battles, which we're weak at, will make us vulnerable.
Yeah, I've got mixed I got mixed feelings. You can easily make sense. City, despite the struggles, is going to go out to try and do the same thing that they always do, which is possess the ball in the opponent's half and use bodies to get forward, pin you back, and create opportunities. They're going to do the exact same thing. As far as ditching a third midfielder, and I knew it. I said it. I said very slim chances, despite what happened in the last game against Bologna with the substitute coming, which I know Mota was sent off, but had to have been discussed at halftime. Okay, these things don't just creep up or pop up for these assistants that step in. And I'm hoping that we eventually do see that change. I think it will help. I thought we saw the signs of it going that way. My thing is, Yildiz does a lot of defensive work as it is from the wing position. If he's playing as a 10 and they're going to use Gundogan to kind of pull the strings further back, there is nothing stopping Yildiz from being able to still do a job for us offensively, centrally, while also doing a job of trying to rule this guy out. And we've done that a ton under Allegri before, not with him especially, but you see that a lot if you're going to have one main guy pulling the strings, and it forces the other guys to get in the play. That will also help shut down them trying to break the lines and pushing them back to build up. It'll push Silva back. It'll push even De Bruyne back rather than being advanced and then breaking the lines to these guys. I'm not opposed to it. I think at some point, you have to find that right combination, but you can't also be scared of kind of doing it. So whether it's City or it's Venezia, your next game, something's got to click and something's got to give. The other thing is, too, if you're going to play this counter-attack game, which he's kind of set up in his presser, that we're going to go this route, you're going to have to be dialed in as far as quality goes. And as far as the effectiveness goes, and ball retention will be massive. Getting him central is big. You're going to have to sacrifice some of that muscle. Locatelli and Thuram could end up being redundant in a game like that. And I'm fine whether you choose Cope Miners and Loca or if you choose Cope Miners and Thuram. I think Cope Miners is a lock. I don't understand the harassment he's gotten, whatever, from fans. There's been 2 bad games. He's not getting sapped by anybody in that midfield. The discussion for me then becomes Loca or Thuram. And Thuram has given himself a lot, and Loca has given himself a lot based on this season.
Yeah, but Mota's problem is that he hasn't tried any of this stuff for 20 games. Like, he's kind of flirted with it, and I don't want him to try something now at home against Man City when we need 3 points. So that's my concern, is that he somehow thinks, I'm going to bench somebody who we might need in that middle to try Yildiz in the 9 spot or at the top. It's frustrating because I would have rather had some practice at this so that we have options going into a game like this.
He's essentially done it with Fagioli.
Yes.
Now, and this is another part of my reasoning. If you're trying it with Fagioli, based on the current form of Yildiz, I would have absolutely 0 issues with Yildiz being the guy there rather than Fagioli, based on a couple showings as of late from Fagioli. So if you're going to do it anyways with him and one of your midfielders, have no fear in utilizing Yildiz as one of these guys. Again, I'm looking at this game completely differently. There is obviously a solid opportunity for us to get at. I don't think you lose anything in trying this with Yildiz there. Like, I don't have this fear that we get completely overrun. The kid's busting his ass out on the flank. Defensively.
For me, it's not him getting overrun, and I agree that he is. I love Yildiz, and I want to see him in the most opportunistic situation to do everything he can do. I think he's ready, and I think he's a star, and I think he needs to be smack in the middle doing whatever the heck he wants. I just don't know who you sacrifice if you're going to put him there. What happens at the left side, and who comes out because of it? Because I want to see Thuram smashing those guys in the middle. I want to see Coop pressing those older players in the middle. I want to see Grealish getting hammered on that left side because he goes down like a rag doll, right? I want to see Yildiz help out Danilo with Savinho. So I'm just worried about trying something that I want to see.
That right there for me is the killer. If we're utilizing Yildiz in the majority to support Danilo, that hurts us from taking that edge and putting the screws to them on the counter and everything. It's going to be too much going this way and not enough going that way. It's a tough call. It's a tough call, but right now, we might even have issues where it doesn't even matter until he sorts it out in the final third. I saw a stat that absolutely killed me last game that, like, this thing was crazy, okay? I tell you.
Bring it up if you have it saved. Bring it.
instant agita, okay? When I saw this, and this is a legit stat from the last game. We've been talking about it here on this show forever. You guys have all felt the same way. We've all talked about the spacing up top is wild. These guys are miles apart, okay? Another reason why I want to see a shift in the middle of what we do and get somebody listed as the advanced player. Split out the two, whether it's Luca and Cope, Thuram and Cope, split them apart. Get that one central advanced. Passes from Conceição to Vlahovic last game. 0. Passes from Yildiz to Vlahovic. 0. Okay? Passes from Fagioli to Vlahovic. 1. Perin to Vlahovic. 5. Are you serious right now?
It's like
if and this is why I say you have got to find something that helps crack the code there, because if you're going into game after game after game and you are going to just wait to kind of be this team that is so passive, that is just, waiting for, I don't even know what, to start freaking turning the tide, turning the screws offensively, no matter what that adjustment is, doing the same thing repeatedly starts to get tired, starts to get old when you see the same shortcomings. And this is my whole thing with Mota. Some people are saying, oh man, you're way too hard on Mota. The injuries this, the injuries that. Injuries have nothing to do with us not being able to find each other in the final third. Like, they don't. Your system, your style, your game, whatever you do has to have a plan, has to have something that is going on that you can see. If it's not evident, if it's not apparent, there's something wrong. That is not a healthy stat line. People can pick out Vlahovic, the common denominator there, whatever. Call it whatever the hell you want. We're not finding the 9. And to be honest, insert Weah. It was nothing better. The guys were miles apart. It was nothing better. Yildiz seems to be the one, solution that is there, that it's anybody's guess why we're mid-December and we haven't tried to unlock something. There is a clear shortcoming in the final third. I don't know, you guys.
Or Mata's too stubborn, maybe.
I don't know what it is. And again, in interviews, it's always the same thing. Yeah, of course he could play in the middle. Okay, well, do you want to give it a shot?
Maybe I guess not. He doesn't, clearly.
Maybe not. We'll see. Today, will there be some tweaks? Will the tweaks come in key? You got a lot of midfielders on that squad list. We got Mbangula, and maybe, just maybe, at some point in the game, he shifts to that. And then we see. We'll see. The big thing, though, as we've all stated, all eyes on the back for Juve. Danilo, especially on that left. That's going to be Yeah, a little bit of risky business there. Key stats going into this one. City have picked up 1 win from the last 6 matches in all competitions. Juve have picked up 1 win from the last 6 matches in all competitions. Hey, look, we're matching each other there. 8 goals have been scored in the last 4 meetings between these two teams. Juve unbeaten in their last 4 matches against City. I will knock on wood there. City have scored 13 goals in 5 Champions League outings this season. The official, Clement Turpin, 231 matches in Ligue 1. 3.3 yellows per game, 67 red cards, 76 pens. So, healthy numbers there. Nothing crazy at all. But in Champions League, 4 yellows per game ramps up, 13 red cards in those 60 matches, but 33 PKs in 60 Champions League matches. A little bit high there. We'll see what we have with old Clement there, okay? But it's time. We got to sort this one out on the predictions. Final score, 2 tiebreakers. Well, the City boys got called out on the Chihuahua check-in. So, Paulo, what's your scoreline? They're saying 4-1 City, 4-2 City. Where are you at?
This is a real challenge. Both clubs are in such similar positions. I think we can do a 2-1 here. I think a tie is probably set for the making because that's what we do. We're time mota. But I think 2-1 is what I hope.
I like it. What are your 2 tiebreakers?
I think Holland's going to get one for sure. I hope we score off a corner or we score off a set play. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think Vlahovic's going to get something.
So Vlahovic, you're thinking Vlahovic gets one for Juve?
Yeah, and I think Coop
so
gets
Haaland,
one.
Vlahovic, maybe a set piece for Juve.
And
Luca, where are you at, man? What's your prediction?
Oh, it's not good. Shit. I don't have the greatest feeling about this, but I'm going to go for a draw. Just because I'm going to try to be positive. I'm going to go 2-2.
2-2.
And
all right. What's your tiebreakers?
I say we get more yellow cards. And yeah, I think Haaland scores one. I think that's a certainty I see happening. I don't know why.
All right. Let's see what we got in here. We got a 3-3 draw coming in here. We got Jerry Nasty there, 1-1. We got Matt 3-2 with a long last, a glorious Gatti header. He's been on the Gatti header for a while. It's got to happen at some point now. Just keep up with the percentages there, brother. 1-1 if we're lucky. I don't feel it. Hope the boys prove me wrong. 2-2. Dushan and Cope Miners score for us. Haaland brace for City. Jeremiah coming in here. Great to see you again, brother. Let's go. 3-2. Oh my God. That would be something. Torn between 3-3 draw or a 3-2 Juve win. My God. So we go from barely creating a big chance to bagging 3 goals, in Champions League there. But suspect, I'll take it, okay? I'd be happy with 3 big chances created based on how we played as of late. 3-1 late goal, the assist from Luis to kickstart the season. Oh my God. Hopefully. 3-0 Juve. Yeah, 1-0 Juve. They miss a pen. All right. 2-1 City, painful. Sadly. 4-0. Oh my goodness.
For who?
I would like to have the espresso you had this morning, Daniel. My goodness.
Whatever
Love
else
it.
you had
Love
this
it.
morning.
This is the game we fall apart. 3-1 City. Justin, get the hell out of here, man. Get out. You're out. No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm kidding, brother. 4-1 City. But we simply missed chances. 2-0 City. All right.
It's not looking great.
Let me think here.
Ouch.
I'm gonna say this. I literally spoke to these boys in the green room and I said, I'm not nervous. I'm not. I'm not nervous. I've been at this point for some time now. I need to see something from this team. I need to see that moment. I need to see that fire that was there earlier in the season that we have seemingly lost. I need to see that belief in themselves, because as of late, the confidence is clear that it's lacking a bit. And they're showing that physically with their just body language. The breakdown against Bologna after a week between games where they were pissing and moaning and sulking all over the place. No, I need that to just die immediately. And I need them to revive that team that fought against Leipzig against the odds. I need to see that. I need to see it from the outset. Again, if this game kicks off, you're at home. Both teams kind of in similar situations, and we are passive, completely passive. And I will state this. You can give up possession and still create havoc and problems for the other team, you know? And if they want to get the jump and they get on the ball early, I want to see us go through somebody early. Like, I want to see us set the tone. I want to see us be physical in the middle and everywhere on the wings. I want to see Chico going in and taking a piece when you're going in for those challenges. Everybody that's on the pitch, I want to see them get stuck in and show this team that, yeah, you could be on the ball. We're still coming through you. Like, this ain't going to be no free run because you're going to possess the ball. I need to see attitude. I need to see attitude today. As far as my prediction, I am going to be pretty safe with it because I'm at a prove me wrong moment right now for this club. So I'm going to say a 1-1 draw in this game. 1-1 draw, maybe 2-2. I would have went 2-2, but Luca kind of jumped on that one before me. But I am feeling we might be in for a 2-2. Don't be surprised if maybe old Clement here gets a PK that decides it. He's got high PK numbers for Champions League, so don't be surprised if it ends 2-1, 3-2 somewhere. I would love for it to be for the good guys, okay, and maybe bring a nice Man City memory to the new kit that Paulo is rocking. But let's see what happens. You guys, predictions are in. There was a question about a watch-along later on today. It is up in the air. It's about 60-40% in favor of maybe happening. Just stay tuned. We'll see if I can make it happen.
60-40 in favor of maybe?
What's that?
You said
60% maybe. 60% it could be happening. 60%.
So 60 in favor of it will happen.
Yeah, 60% chance it's happening. Okay? Maybe. Trying my best, okay? First one, are fireworks legal in Canada? Yo.
Anything's legal if you know what you're doing. Sorry.
Thuram is the X factor today. City's midfield is really slow, so he should run circles around them. If he has a great game today, we win. Wow. Pinning it on Thuram. Hey, I came out with a video. People got nervous, and this is the times we were living in as Juventini. They got nervous when I posted the video with the thumbnail. It's me, it's Thuram in the background. They think, oh my God, is Thuram hurt too? No, it's just a good, positive, feel-good video about how excited I am for this player. I think I've loved everything he's been doing. He's been growing with each game. And this is why I say, while I do feel we need to turn the screws somewhere in the middle, it's a very tough call because you can make solid arguments out of Luca and Thuram as who should be. For me, Cope Minor stays. He is so well-rounded and he's smart. And if you're not seeing the little things and the intangibles that come through, I don't know what to say. But Thuram, everyone's saying he's a lock. Is he a lock in the midfield for you guys? He's that 1A option.
I think George has got it right. If you're Pep and you've got a shit back line that's been letting in goals and can't be trusted, tons of injuries, where do you not want the game to be? Anywhere around your box. You want to keep doing the one thing you can do, which is throw everybody around the opposition's box and pass it around for 90 minutes. So the way you attack that is you get Thuram, Locatelli, and Coop smashing the shit out of that middle Man City area of the field, making them pay, winning those tackles, those one-on-one battles, and keeping it in their end. And I think George has it right. You get the muscle in there, and you beat the crap out of that middle.
There you go. Yeah, set the tone. Get physical. Luca, Thuram, is he a lock in the midfield?
At this moment, yeah. I still think Luca is consistently our best mid since the season began. And under Mota, we've seen that his game has elevated. But Thuram, since all these injuries came and he's been playing week in, week out, has shown us why he was, one of our first signings early on. Because honestly, he just, like, every game, like, he's not perfect. There's still a lot to his game I think he needs to unlock, but that physicality is something we've missed so dearly in the mid. Like, in the back line, we'd had Bremer and Gatti punching people in the face, so it was fine. But having someone not go down after every touch, Fagioli, in the mid is nice. So it's refreshing, and honestly, he's stepped up. So yeah, for me, he is a lock, and actually over Luca at this point, I think, just because I think someone could do what Luca does. No one could do what Thuram does now, I think.
And we've got shouts about playing 4-3-3, flatten out that midfield, but advance Thuram and Cope Miners and use Luca in the middle, just kind of as the deep line playmaker and whatnot. And I mean, that's one of my issues over the past little bit. I've complained about this exact thing for some time. People are ragging on Cope Miners. He's not playing as a true 10 because he's got to slot out to the right to flatten out the midfield. But then when we're on the ball, he's got to go back out there. And it would be much easier and save that guy a ton of friggin' energy if you just decided if you want one guy advanced or if you want to equally advance between the left mid and the right mid. Mota's in this like half committal phase of this setup and everything. And I'm like, just make a frickin' decision and run with it. Decide something and run with it and let these guys get comfortable and actually grow together. And it would obviously, if you use both of them, which I would agree to this point by Henderson there, you can clear up the gaps up top where our wingers are like glued to sidelines and everything. Get both of these guys advanced, not just Cope Miners. And today, have no fear. Have no fear about City. They're like, the thing is, the feeling from them earlier in the season is not the same now. You'd be way more concerned, and we were carrying a lot of concern at the beginning, new project, new team and everything, but the form they're in now, this is going to be a game. Make it a game. Don't be scared. Yeah. Don't show them too much respect. Crystal Palace ain't showing them respect. Nobody's showing them respect. Let's not Crystal be the Palace, team that does.
Palace is really physical, right? And yeah. Again, Man City had trouble with that physicality. And we don't want to do another Milan where we kind of, they're wounded, we're wounded. Let's just kind of slow play this whole game. We don't want to do that. Now, early on, and this is the funny thing about this game because there's going to be so many, I think there could be a lot of surprises, but early on we tried Locatelli above the 4. And then we put 2 guys up ahead of him. And what happened was the forwards and the midfield from the opposition would isolate Locatelli. So you had the 4, and then you had, or 3, and then the 4, and then you had Locatelli sitting in the middle. He couldn't find his outlets because everybody was too high, and all he had was his defense behind him. So that's the one thing that we tried back earlier in the season. I don't disagree with what you're saying by having 2 up and letting Locatelli work from behind.
They just have to build up together first. That's the thing.
Yeah, we've had trouble going from one into the other.
At Bologna, they bombed forward way too early. And they just abandoned. It's like, just wait, build up together, and then take up those positions and roles. And it makes no sense to bomb up forward too when you're in the build-up phase. You're literally if you're counterattacking, you're transitioning, okay, yeah, that makes sense, bomb forward, but we're not. We're in the build-up phase. Build up as a team, as a unit. The passes between the midfielders needs to pick up as well. And it sounds eerily familiar to, dare I say, last season, but we need to work on that. I'll leave it there. Thuram, the only thing he needs to work on is the final third. When he solves that piece of the puzzle, look out for this player, okay? I'm telling you, that's the last thing. For me, everything he's doing is fantastic. The final third in the games when he gets right up there advanced, that's that last piece of the puzzle for this kid. But I'm stoked on him, okay? Who is favored in this game, Juve City? Let me quickly text Fajoli here and get the odds. We've got minus 105 to City. City are favorites as Juve sits at plus 280. Okay, so grazie, Fajoli. Okay.
I'll take that.
Could this be the game that sparks the team, win or loss? If they win, they'll be full of confidence after being a team like that. But if they lose, maybe it'll wake up the team and the manager. I don't think it's a game that sparks it in a loss. I don't think, it would really have to depend on how the game goes for what you take out of it. You can take positives out of draws, out of losses too sometimes, depending on how it goes. So all I'm going to say is really depends how this thing plays out. Paulo, Luca, your thoughts on being able to spark something, win or loss out of this? Depends how it goes.
Oof. Yeah, it's going to depend on how it goes. I mean, I don't... My worry is that, you both touched on it, that City is... People are not afraid of City anymore. That aura is now gone. Like Crystal Palace goes into a game and says, we can beat these idiots. The same could be said about Juventus. So, I'm looking at this game and I'm thinking, as Pablo said, it's going to be very similar to Milan, and we can't have that. So it's going to really depend on who shows up today. And I feel like I've been saying that a lot in the last couple of years with Juve. So depending on how today goes, I really don't know what can come from it. But if it goes well, obviously...
What do you need to see to take a positive out of it? He's asking if you can get a positive out of a win or a loss. What do you need to see that even if it's a loss, you take it as a positive? What are you looking for specifically?
I mean, we've seen that we can fight. I'd love to see it again, but I don't want to... There's not many positives to take out of a loss. That's the thing. Shit.
I don't know. I disagree. I'll tell you right now why I disagree. Chemistry. If I could see something developing in the attack between our three players where it's a team play, we just went over the stats that showed 0 passing amongst anybody trying to find our striker. I mean, I need to start seeing something that is showing we're growing together up top. This thing about injuries too, this is why it's not really hitting home with me. There's been a lot of games now Chico, Vlahovic, Yildiz have played together. There's a substantial amount of games where those guys are there. There's a substantial amount of games where Cope Miners is there. It has to start amounting to something. If we go down in this game, but we create very, very good, we play with a good tempo, good urgency, like if we're there, we're not passive, flat, as stale as we've been, I'm happy. I'd be like, I'm not happy that we lose, but you could take something that you can build on and go forward the next game. We are all looking for chemistry in the final third, something to develop there. If we get the same thing we've seen in all these games and we lose, there is nothing to take out of it. Paulo, where are you at on this?
I think it's going to be hard to find a positive without 3 points or 1 point at least. I feel like Lecce was a loss. I feel like Bologna was a loss.
Big time.
Yeah. I feel like Milan was a loss.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at a point where I don't know what consolation is possible in a loss, because even if we were to, let's say, hypothetically be 1-1, last 5 minutes, Gatti or Danilo do something stupid, we lose 2-1 on a penalty shot, I'm going to be mad about Danilo and Gatti not seeing the game out, about Mota not securing a game in the last 5 minutes again. So I'm past that, and I'm sad to say to Giratina that I don't think anything but 1 or 3 points is going to have a positive for me.
Yeah.
I mean, at least with Aston Villa, when it got to like the 70th or 80th minute, Aston Villa were like this. You could see all the Aston Villa players were tired. Our boys were still on fire. They were still ready to run up and down the field and challenge right up until the last minute. So in that sense, that game was a disappointment, but you could see something from our team that we went in prepared. We went in to play 90 minutes. We were going to come out of there with something. I don't see anything but a point.
If
we
we have an abundance of chances, if we are not clinical, say we hit a couple posts or whatever, you lose like a 2-1 game or something. I mean, it's always going to be brutal when you lose and hard to take. But like I said, if we play the better of this is my main issue right now. We have not deserved more than what we've gotten. We haven't. We haven't played to a fashion where we have deserved more than these draws that we've had for multiple reasons. Not seeing everything, not seeing a game out, questionable late subs, whatever, change for whatever reasons. But the main thing is on the pitch, we have not deserved more than we have gotten. If you play a match where you do finally deserve more than what you have gotten, that's a positive based on like a month and a half of what we've gotten, to be quite honest. So I think you can take, but it would be very hard and you would be reaching like hell to take that positive in a loss, okay? But hopefully we don't have to find out. A win changes everything in terms of the feeling around the Champions League and the tournament. Getting to 11 points, like I said, probably going to secure you. You have a couple games remaining. Top 8 would not be out of the question based on the standings now. But again, big if today. They still have a solid lineup. It's going to be an interesting game to see how it plays out. What is the best combined 11 of healthy players between Juventus and City?
Currently?
Do we start in goal? So who is it? Di Gregorio and Ederson? Who are you taking there? Paolo.
Who's playing today? Peren or Di Gregorio?
Di Gregorio.
Yeah. Michele.
You could throw Perin there in the combined 11 tops if you like.
No, that's fine.
Ederson, Di Gregorio.
Pinzolio at that point, forget it. Ederson for me, just on experience.
Yeah.
Give me Perin.
I mean, if we're going on all the goaltenders, I'm taking Pinto 100%. Actually, you know what? City's third. What's the guy's name? He has like the best job in the world. Just like Pinto, he just chills.
Right back. Who's taking it for right back?
I'm curious on the question. Is it like who's healthy right now, or if everyone is
best
healthy?
combined 11 between Juve and City of healthy players? So healthy now or just all guys available?
I'll take Savona over Walker any day, man.
Yeah.
Savona over Walker.
Right,
okay, so we'll just do
Walker's
today's
done.
starting lineups.
let's do today's lineup.
Or at least I hope he's done.
You've got Ruben Diaz or Federico Gatti.
Diaz.
Yes.
And I like
more
Gatti.
reliable.
Yes. Gvardiol or Kalulu.
Lately, Kalulu's been better, I think.
Well, Guardiola's also outside left. He's playing center back today because he is naturally a center back, but it depends where you put him. Because of injury, he's playing in the middle, but usually he plays outside left. So it's more like Guardiola versus Cambiaso, in which case I'll take Cambiaso any day.
Yeah, the Cambiaso
Yes, but for today, he's at center back, I believe. That's how it's listed because Lewis is going to be.
But it's
at
about
the
healthy
left outside.
players, right?
It'll shift. But in that case, I take
like
Kalulu
healthy
over.
today, we're going based on starting lineup. So it's Gvardiol or Kalulu. Who are we going with?
Kalulu.
Kalulu. A lot of Kalulus in there.
Yeah, Guardiola's good, but it's not his
I like
position,
Gvardiol. I'm gonna. It's tough for me. I like Gvardiol. He was Was it the Euros? He was just
Good, but it's not his position, I find.
solid at center back
And
too.
he makes more mistakes back there in the
Mhm.
middle than he does on the outside. So I'm
Yeah,
taking
100%.
Kalulu for sure.
Kalulu and Gatti need to both wake up lately.
Uh,
Slight
They've
edge to
been playing a
Guardiola.
lot, man. They've been playing a lot.
They've been
Kalulu,
putting
Slight
God
edge
bless them.
slight edge to Guardiola for me. Lewis or Danilo today, as it sits.
Well, Lewis is a midfielder. He's terrible at right back.
yeah.
Well, he's left
But
back today. I
Danilo-
think he's going left back today. That's why he lines up with Danilo.
Can we not pick either? Can we just like?
I'll take
Against
Danilo.
I'll take Lewis.
I'll take Lewis too.
We go to so it would be, I guess, Gundogan or Locatelli.
Oh. Ah,
Locatelli's playing better, I think.
yeah. Right now it is Luca, but Gundogan. Oh, he's just so good.
I know, but he's done. He is.
He's
I'm
done,
hoping
he's
he's done.
done.
I'm hoping all these guys stay done today. Like,
Watch
I'm
it.
sorry,
Walker.
guys.
Ah, fuck.
What a tough
I
question.
like Gundogan better,
Gundogan's-
but
Gundogan's-
Luca right now.
That would put us at Savinho or Chico.
That's tough.
I'm going Chico. I'll ride or die with this kid at 21.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a Juve bias in that one.
Then we get to De Bruyne, Cope Miners. Sorry, Cope. Sorry, man.
Yeah. That's a.
Sorry,
you know what?
man.
No, I take cool.
KDB, he's going to be one of the best midfielders to ever play the game. I can't bet against him in a big game.
Silva, Thuram.
That's so fucking tough.
I'll take Thuram because Silva's been a bit of a bitch past couple of years, man. He's on the floor. He's whining. He's complaining. He's
But he's
kicking people in the heels
good.
when they're not looking. I'm not
He's
picking him.
good.
I love that. Doku, Yildiz.
Yildiz.
Give me Yildiz.
Yeah. Better two-way player.
Haaland, Vlahovic. Haaland. Interesting,
coach?
interesting. Fun
What about the
stuff.
coach?
A
Which
little bit
coach
of
we
bias
taking?
coming through, but you know what? That's okay. Is what it is. We gotta show some love to our boys too, okay? Sweaty, how many points do you see Juve realistically gain from the remaining 3 Champions League games?
4 points.
5. We'll get 2 wins. Maybe one will be today. We'll get 2 wins. We got another 6 points coming. 3 points will leave us safe, by the way. But we'll get 6 for good measure, okay? Everybody, get those likes up, all right? We are, we tackled a lot today. There's a lot of feelings coming around. It's up to what we've been saying all the time. We hear should a lot, you know? Like, this team should be able to do more. Is capable of more, you know? Like, we're all waiting for this turning point. Oh, this is a game that could be the turning point. This is the game that could turn the tide for us and everything. It really matters not what we say, and it's up to these guys to start proving it. I feel like Malta, I love, and I respect the hell out of him, okay, for saying no injury alibis, no excuses, all this. I love it. But at some point, it's got to translate. That attitude, like that demeanor, has to translate on the pitch from coach to players and everything. This is a big moment for them to bring back what has been lost over the course of time. And it would be perfect timing because some of those boys have come back. McKennie, Louise, etc. Cambiaso is not going to be far behind. You know, he seems to be outsourcing his medical care from J Medical, and that's why he had a shot at being in there today. Okay, so he's not going into the Bermuda Triangle, everybody. This is a huge one at the right moment as guys are starting to get back to turn that tide. Okay? But they really gotta dial it in today. The opportunity is there. This game could go, I think it's 50-50. We know that they're favorites, and naturally they should be with a roster worth that much compared to ours. But I don't give a shit. There's a reason you play the games. Okay? Go out there. Give it everything you have. Give it everything you have. As far as how it goes down, let's wait. Let's see. Haaland, got to stop him. Got to stop that guy. He's going to create problems. You know, Gatti Kalulu lately been able to drive a truck through that pairing. So, hey, today you're against a truck. An absolute freightliner. So, fuck. Get it together, boys. Danilo. Hey. Left side, right side, I don't give a shit. I don't care where you like playing. We need you. We need you on that left outside. Savinho, good luck, buddy. You're in for one there. Savona, I have actually no problems with. I think he's going to handle just fine on that side. Especially if Grealish will be the one out there. Savona, I think, will do just fine there. I'm going to go out and say it. He's pocketed better. He's pocketed better. How do you like them apples, Grealish? Hey. As far as Chico and Yildiz will get their moments. Walker is a hurting unit right now. Yildiz has to take advantage. Has to take advantage. For Chico, I have no worries whoever the hell he faces. He'll get his moments. Colt Miners, let's hope that goal last game sparks that attitude and that drive and that pick-me-up. Let's hope that getting the monkey off the back really turns it up for him. It's all hands on deck today. For Vlahovic, let's get the guy some service. Let's get this guy some service. I think there's an opportunity there against Guardiola. Diaz is solid.
Oh, yeah.
But I think there's an opportunity there against Guardiola. So let's see. Let's see. De Bruyne, oh, yeah. You have to do your best there. And Silva is the type of player that destroys us kind of more so than these other guys. But yeah, hey,
Still good though.
they're going to play their game. They're going to play that game. If we can recreate that picture of Pep's head scraped up to shit and his nose bleeding there, if we can somehow recreate that. Oh, and there we go. And there's the AJC mascot for the day. Love it. Everybody loves the pups. Everybody loves the pups. If we could somehow recreate Pep Guardiola scratched and clawed to shit, I will be so happy. And we can reconvene tomorrow morning on the post-match podcast. All right. And hopefully it's a victory pod. Let's fucking go, boys. Let's go. Come on. I got to see that fight from these guys, okay? It was fun today. Luca, Paulo. What's the pup's name?
Rocky.
Rocky.
Real original.
A chow chow. A chow chow.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's have some fun today one way or another. Let's see what the boys bring. Don't get too crazy about it because, like I said, domestic is priority in Champions League. We'll still be in a playoff. We've got playoff in our sights, everybody. I think that's where it's at. But let's see. Let's see. Maybe we're in for a big surprise. FC 25, 2-0 Juve. If it gets correct, we might give a kit away tomorrow ahead of the triple kit giveaway.
Because 3
If
was not
FC 25 nails this one right today because I'm so stoked.
He's going to give away the one he's wearing.
Not this one. No, God. We'll give away a kit tomorrow, okay? And yes, watch along. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
60-40.
We'll see. 60-40. 65-35 maybe. Let's see. Let's see. Everybody, let's hope for a good one today, a strong one. As always, no matter what, fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. Drop those likes. Share the content. Let's give everybody else out there the big day. All the City fans, all the English in Turin right now. That's one way to wreck Turin, okay? Let's give them this. There. Let's go, everybody. Forza Juve.